Well, we've seen the first couple steps in covering the cabinets in the master bath, the templating and the fabrication. Now we're ready for the last step. That's putting them in place. We have Phil, Chad, and Barry handling that part of the project, and they're doing a little bit of prep work before they bring the pieces into the master bath. Well, Phil, thanks for coming out.
Well, thanks for having us.
So we've seen a lot of precision with getting these countertops ready to go. That's got to carry through to today, right?
Correct. It's important that the measure follows through and makes our job a lot quicker.
So the process today will be fairly simple. Do you want to walk us through that? What's the first thing you do?
We're going to flip our countertops over on the sawhorses and trace out our sinks.
Okay.
And then once we do that, we'll drill for our nut certs and we'll carry them in.
So what's a nut zert?
A nut cert is a pop rivet, threaded pop rivet that goes in to the hole that we drill on the outside of the sink so we can put a threaded bolt in to hold the sink on.
So once you get all your preps done outside, then what?
Then we'll carry the countertops in and place them.
Okay, kind of a dry fit.
Correct.
And if everything's fitting well, then what?
We go ahead and start leveling it up, prepping for our seam.
And you want to make sure those are perfectly level, make sure all the overhangs are the right margin, right?
Correct. Then we can proceed to seaming.
And seaming, you're using a two-part epoxy, perfectly color matched, right?
We have a two-part epoxy that we use that's colored for every design that we have. So then the next step is putting our gorillas on and getting ready to set the seam.
And the gorillas, that's a vacuum clamp that you use to set the seam and pushes it together, right?
Yes, that it vacuums down to the countertop, and then the cams adjust the heights of the two counters.
And as the seam sets, then you move on to sinks.
Then we silicone the tops of the sinks, insert our threaded bolts and our clamps, and screw it tight to the bottom of the sink or counter.
You're underneath pushing up.
Yep.
Lots of fun. So once the sinks are in place, any final touches with the sinks?
We just adjust the reveals, and then we silicone down the countertops.
Okay. And you have one last thing you do to finish off that seam, right?
Yes, we do a skim coat afterwards. We apply a thin coat over the seam to ensure that we don't miss any voids.
Well, it's been really great. Thanks for all your help.
Thank you.
So you definitely make it look easy. You've been doing this for a while.
Yep, 8 years.